Dream warrior, ain't gonna dream no more. I'm a dream warrior.
Recorded live from the dungeon, this is the Dream Warrior Review, and I'm Kurt Thomas.
And coming at you live from the hills of Tennessee,
I'm Mick Strawn.
Mick Strawn.
There you go, Dr. Caligari. Yeah.
I tried to find Dracula because that's obviously public domain. I couldn't find either one of them on YouTube. The 1931.
Really? You have to go. You know what? You have to go to
Internet Archive or whatever it is.
Internet Archive.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to go to Internet Archive to get that one. Caligari's. Oh yeah. Everybody wants to have a show that looks like Caligari's office and uses all of the camera tricks.
Yeah, the angles. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they just want they want to update those Orwellianly. You know.
That sounds like me trying to say Luddite.
Orwellian, yeah, Orwellianly.
Luddite.
I think I disconnected my tongue.
But that's one of my favorite movies, just visually.
Orwellianly.
Okay, let me see. Do you have any creepy paper? Wait, I don't know. Do you have any creepy paper? Is that better? Well, that's an intro to the next movie.
Yeah.
Actually, TV series. But let me take you through a journey. In 2005, What We Do in the Shadows, interviews with some vampires, and that came out as a short film. Just so you know.
Yes.
Yes.
I do know, as a matter of fact, yeah.
And actually, I found that on YouTube, and I put a link on our YouTube page under cool clips, as I always do, because everything that I do is cool. But I put it under there, and I started watching it, but I only got like 5 minutes into it before I got taken away by my children. They kidnapped me. And 2014, fast forward to 2014, What We Do in the Shadows, the feature, which we both loved, by the way.
Loved it.
And I think I wrote down, so you gave it a 4? No, you gave it a 4.5, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know, I gave it a 4.
I was way up there. Yeah, you didn't quite like it as much as I did.
Well,
but I think that I had a New Zealand connection to it.
I think I want to go back and alter that rating.
Go
at
back
this
up.
point. But anyway, now we're gonna go back to not go back. We're gonna go forward to 2019. What We Do in the Shadows TV series for FX television, and it's on Hulu right now. A look into the daily, or rather nightly, lives of 3 vampires who lived together for over 100 years on Staten Island.
And you know what? Of all the shows that have been stolen from other countries that Americans have destroyed, this isn't one of them.
Well, I mean, the creators are still involved, though.
Yeah, well, that certainly hasn't made much of a difference for some of them.
That's true. Actually, I did think that this is probably the first that I can think of, the first TV series I can think of that came from a movie that is arguably as good as the movie, but for different reasons.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to tell you this. I watched half of the first one. And I said, no, it's not.
I did the same thing, actually.
It's not the same. And I really did. And I didn't want to get invested. Right. And I left it that way for freaking 6 months. I had not even looked at it. I just was like, oh, I just didn't want to destroy What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. Yeah.
From the movie. Right.
Well, I did the same thing. I watched the first episode and then was like, and that was like, I don't know, it must have been like 8 months. It was longer. It was a long time ago. But then I was thinking about it lately. I'm like, I want to give that another chance. And then it kind of.
So have I. And I jumped back in and watched the second half of it. And I was like, wait, that they did a pretty good job of that. And then I watched the next episode and I was all in. man.
Yeah. Well, I got through 7. I think I was into the 7th episode with. I don't know if you got that far, but I got to the 7th episode, and it was about the girl in the dormitory going through her changes.
Oh well, you know, in the third, it's the first time that we see the girl, you know, starting to change. But I always in the movie I loved it, and I loved it so much. I loved the werewolves versus the vampires. It's hilarious. I think what really kind of got me about about the very first episode is so much of it is in the meeting, the community meeting.
Yes, yeah.
And there's something about it's funny. It's hard to make a community meeting interesting, right? You know, local government.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like there's this thing that filmmakers always talk about is you never film anybody yawning.
Right.
Yeah. And it's obvious. The reason you don't film somebody yawning is so that, you know, yawn is easy to catch. Right?
Well, that makes me that's what made me nervous about doing video for our show, is that sometimes when you're telling your stories, I'm like, not really.
Well, so I was thinking, yeah, there's a certain aspect of that yawning thing that was obviously going on here, because as soon as you see that, you know, very community center,
yes.
Sort of like, you know, all fluorescent lighting and sort of like the curved wall of you know, of communal responsibility, and you know, and it looks like somebody's sitting there with a gavel and stuff, and you.
Yeah. Well, my brother's actually a city planner.
Oh yeah, well,
and so he does a lot of these meetings. In fact, he leads them, and he'll text me saying, "Hey, I'm going to be live tomorrow night at 8:00." You know, and I'm like,
thanks,
but no thanks. I'll check it out later. Tell me what to cue to, what point to look at.
Yeah. Just give me a 10 frame window to catch you in. Yes, exactly. But yeah, that.
Well, you had Colin there too. That's why it was extra boring, because you had Colin there.
Right. Oh yeah, draining the energy of it.
I really like Colin.
I love Colin and the
and
fact
Guillermo. I love Guillermo. Poor Guillermo.
But Colin being up against somebody who actually bests him was just so cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I don't want to get into that because that was
well, it was an interesting relationship for sure.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But
well, one thing I missed though that was in the feature that wasn't. It's not as much in this as the whole flatmate thing, the whole trying to deal with your roommates, and like they only had like one comment about like what was it, half drunk.
Yeah, half drunk, but yeah, the sinks.
Well, like I remember in the movie they had like, you know, clean your bloody dishes, and they had like
clean your bloody dishes, and they had that literally the fight in the kitchen where they could rise.
Yeah,
right?
They had more fights in the movie.
Oh, they had a lot more fights in the movie, and that was definitely more of a roommate thing, you know. And
I really miss the Waititi character. I miss his character a lot.
Well, how can you not? I mean, you know,
I know.
He's amazing.
And then the poker, Vlad the poker.
Yeah.
He actually makes an appearance at some point.
But we do have two of the original characters. It's too bad we don't have the guy who's playing the original Nosferatu.
Well, there's one scene where a lot of characters come back. I won't say what it is, but it's a really interesting scene. And here's a little tidbit that it blew my mind when I saw this. When I saw this woman, there's a show on TV, I think it's Fox, called Last Man on Earth. And it has what's her name in it? Oh gosh, what's her name? I wrote it down. I can't find it on my notes. Oh, this is horrible. I can't find my notes. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, so it's that
guy that was on Saturday Night Live,
Will Forte.
And the woman that she's really funny character, comedic actor. She has a weird voice.
Kristen Shaw.
Well, she was on this show, and it was just kind of funny because it was a perfect character for her to play. But anyway,
right.
I'm
Anyway,
mentioning that because last week we just did I Am Legend, so I thought that was interesting that the show she's on, it's called I Am Legend. See how I kind of
you're tying all this together. For a moment there, I thought that you were lost, and it turned out that I was lost.
No, I think I knew where I was. I was just making you lost, and then I was getting lost.
And by the way, what a stunning job you did of it too. I was lost as hell right there. So, anyway,
one thing I like about Colin is, I mean, just how awkward he is, and he. I won't say who, but there's somebody he reminds me of in my. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe I won't say that. Somebody I work with. But anyway, I like when he's like, I have to pee too. I have to pee too.
Somebody that everybody works with. Let's face it.
Everybody's worked with the Colin at some point.
Absolutely.
That follows you into the bathroom. It's like, I have to pee too. Let's talk.
I have to pee too. Let's talk. Yeah.
There's so many things I wrote down that I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
This is what. Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to.
With the Baron. I mean, come on. All I have to say is the Baron.
Yeah.
Did you see the scene where they're hanging out with the Baron?
Which episode?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I did 3 episodes, man.
Well, there's a scene where they go with the Baron somewhere.
Okay,
that's all I have to say. It's just craziness.
Hey, don't spoil it for me, man. What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm not spoiling it.
Oh, wait.
So one thing that's better is that the movie. One thing I feel like this isn't as good as the movie. But
yeah, no, it's not.
I love all of this stuff because it's like Spinal Tap, which is one of my favorite movies ever. And, just kind of off the cuff kind of humor where they're making up half of it anyway. Yeah, this one seems like it's more scripted. Yeah,
it does. It seems a lot more scripted, but there's something else that's happening here that's a little odd. Is it seems like a series of vignettes.
Yes. Yeah.
So far, it doesn't seem so like there was a story going on that you were really into in the movie, right? And there was an overriding, let's look at this fascinating, how these people see this world and stuff.
You also had the battle with the werewolves that was ongoing.
Right. This was a little bit more like I can always tell this. I can always tell that it's written as a series of vignettes when I don't have a sense of location.
Right, yeah.
Of where this room relates to that room, relates to that room, relates to that room, because they're written to be room to room to room,
Right.
So so it's like a difference between the linearity of telling a story. It's like almost immediately in the film, exactly where you are at all times. This, you don't, I'm only 3 episodes in, but at the same time, it's just everything has happened in this little spot here and that spot there and that spot there. So I would hope that it opens up a little bit more. Oh
yeah, there's some shopping and some, fun times to be had in the future. But it's kind of like writing episodic television, really, is because you're writing one episode at a time.
That's because it's episodic television.
I know, exactly. I think they should have taken that 250 hours or whatever they shot of the movie and turned that into a TV series.
Really? It probably would have worked. They probably would have had 7 of them.
I do have a wish, though, and I say this, but I think about this every time I watch a movie now. I really want to see this movie with social distancing and masks. Like, how would a vampire deal with having to wear a mask? Think about it. There'd be a struggle. I'm really hungry, but I don't want to get the virus.
The overall problem is that if you have 5 vampires that are like on your street and they're causing occasional problems, stuff like this, it's
as they do,
not even going to hold a candle to COVID-19.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe
not near as scary.
Maybe vampires aren't immune to COVID. You see what I'm saying? Like that would be scary.
Oh yeah, that's true. You know, and
I get to see Guillermo like trying to convince them all they need to wear masks.
You find out real quick who's the trumper, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and one thing you said that was interesting is like you had mentioned how I think it was last week you mentioned how vampires were always like uppity, you know.
Right.
The way these vampires dress in this show, it's like perfect.
It's so over the top. It's so over the top for whatever period they died in, right? You know?
Right. Yeah.
It's sort of, you know, if it's true that the music that you listen to is the music that was when you were 30, right? Because you're not going to get around that. You know, it's always going to be stuck in your head. Well, you know, think of if you were 30 in 1712 and you were 30 in 1915, right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
That's what's going on here. So.
Yeah. And that's one thing that works.
Yeah.
So obviously, I just love the guy, Taika Waititi. I can never pronounce his name right, but he obviously has an influence here, and he's still writing for it. And
oh yeah,
there's some things coming up that I've noticed on his resume that's pretty amazing. Like he's gonna do an animated Flash, animated Akira.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
Time Bandits. He's working on a Time Band series.
Oh yes.
I mean, come on.
I keep wondering why Time Bandits has been so singularly ignored by everybody for so long.
Oh well, that was a fantastic movie. We should actually talk about that one.
We should.
I just want to watch it.
Oh, there you go.
I do this for selfish reasons. Anyway.
So.
Rate it. What should we rate it?
Rate.
So here's my problem. I gave the feature film a 4.
Right.
But I kind of want to give this one a 4. So that means I would bump the feature film up to like a 4.5. But since I've already done that and it's set in stone, like we carved it into the stone, said for this movie, I'm going to give this one a 3.8, I guess.
I didn't understand any of that. Hello?
Do you ever understand my rating system?
No, I do not. You know what I like best about my rating system is overall it's just wrong.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Actually, mine's wrong too, but for me it's right.
That's right. Okay.
So in that case, I'm going to change my feature film, this one, the 2014 feature, to 4.5, and this is a 4.
Okay. I want to see. Yeah, I would go like a 3.8 at this. I'm not going to knock myself out for it. You know?
It's getting better. It reminds me of Space Force. Like when you get to episode 5 or 6, it's starting to pick up a little speed, and I really enjoyed episode. I think it was 6.
You know what? We have to have an episode soon where we do the end of this one, the end of Space Force, the end of like 3 or 4 of the ones that we've started.
Yeah. We only did a few episodes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I was gonna say, the bad boys or not the boys.
Right. The boys. Wait.
Yeah, it was about superheroes being jerks. Come on, we reviewed.
I don't remember that.
Okay, look it up. The boys.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Oh, a little creepy. Oh wow, look his eyes.
Well, we did. Let's see. Tales from the Loop, Nosferatu, Umbrella Academy. There's a whole bunch that we only did a little bit of.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm saying is let's do the next group and we'll do it all in one episode. We'll do 4 or 5 of them.
That's a lot of work. We don't have time to stream all that. See, I'm not like the average American right now going, oh, it's so boring. I don't know what to do right now. It's COVID. It's so much. I don't know what to do. I've been watching the same shows. I'm sitting here playing puzzles all the time. I don't even have time to even like breathe yet, take a poop or anything. I don't have time because my kids are, pretty crazy. And if I had like 5 kids, like some people do, I don't know what I would do. I would probably be running away right now.
Have you still got a job?
Yes, I do.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So the job, the kids, the wife, trying to edit videos, trying to learn what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
I don't have much time to watch a lot of things, but in fact, I'm watching less now than I did before, which does like I did in February. That makes no sense.
Well, on that sad note, we should sadly say goodbye.
So I'm going to have some people watch stuff for me and tell me what they think.
You do that and get back to me on it.